You're listening to the DVDfever Show, and now I have for you a review of Amour on Blu-ray. As Amour begins, we're shown firemen breaking into a flat in France where they discover Anne's, Emmanuelle Riva, deceased corpse lying on a bed, elegantly dressed, eyes closed, and with flower petals scattered around her. Her husband George, Jean-Louis Trintignant, nowhere to be seen. We're then taken back to an earlier time where the couple were at a Schubert concert, performed by Anne's former student Alexandre, who later comes to visit them, as does their daughter Eva, played by Isabelle Huppert, on a handful of occasions throughout the film. The film then simply follows the couple as they live their humble lives, coming across as a touching tale of old age and the illness that accompanies it, since Anne has a stroke and develops paralysis down her right-hand side. We see both of them trying to come to terms with Anne's condition, George as he has to look after her increasingly, and Anne herself as she suffers an increasing indignity of her body turning into a lifeless shell. They have a love that any couple would be proud to have, which is a testament to the incredible performances from the two leads in what is basically a two-hander. Amour leaves the memories of the film in your mind for a long time as you try to play out certain things in your head. And you can't really say a lot more about it other than it's incredibly powerful and emotive stuff and a captivating work of art to behold. Also, I love the aspect of the fact that there's a lot of scenes where the camera is kept in one fixed position, sometimes turning as characters go back and forth across the room. Such a simple device, but so effective. More filmmakers should do this. And as an aside, it's also the only film I can think of which has no opening or closing music. Presented in the original 1.85:1 theatrical ratio and 1080p high definition, the picture is sharp and detailed with no faults, bringing the simpleness and misery to the fore in one of the best films I've seen this year so far. And the sound is in DTS 5.1, but it's mostly dialogue with the occasional classical music pieces and has no faults with any of that. The extras are as follows. First of all, we have an introduction by Philippe Rouer, co-author of Haneke by Haneke, and the author talks about why director Michael Haneke chose to make certain elements of the film in the way that they were because it made it a very personal film. I don't want to go into detail about such things as they would give spoilers. He then goes on to mention Haneke's choice of lead actor down to Jean-Louis Trintignant's mysterious nature and expressive eyes. Additionally, as you watch Rouer, with the camera slowly zooming in on his big face, you can't escape the fact that his mouth is full of far too much saliva. Then we have the making of Amour, which lasts about 25-26 minutes. Oh, the first extra lasted almost 9 minutes, by the way. In the making of Amour, Michael Haneke talks about the layout of the apartment, and again, I don't want to give out any spoilers why this is important. But there's also chat from Emmanuelle Riva, Jean-Louis Trintignant, and Isabelle Huppert, as well as on-set and test footage. And then we have Jean-Louis Trintignant talks about Amour, which is 7.5 minutes. And as well as it doing what it says on the tin, you can see, in addition, you can see his involvement in Haneke's The White Balloon, and how they only met when it came time to make Amour. Then we also have a trailer, which is about 2 minutes long. Now, mostly this is a reasonable trailer, but it highlights one aspect of the film in the last part of it, which I'd rather they had left us to discover. Thankfully, I saw this trailer after I'd watched the film. The menu is static, with only Schubert's Impromptu No. 3 in G-flat major. The subtitles in English only, and the chaptering is a woeful 12 over the 127-minute time. 102 hours. It's 2 hours and 7 minutes. Yeah, I go by the rule of thumb of one chapter every 5 minutes, taking into account one for each of the opening and closing credits. But 12 over a 2-hour film? Ridiculous. So the film, well, it's got to be 10 out of 10. Fantastic. Picture 10. Sound 7. I mean, really, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's not a lot to it. Extras 3. So overall, 7 out of 10. Okay, so before the top 10 movie charts, we're going to have a bit more music, and albeit a change of direction from the sort of music I normally play on this show, what else can I play here but Schubert's Impromptu No. 3 in G-flat major?